Hi. Okay. I feel like I need a thing. While people tune in here, please don't. You're like, I'm getting Oh.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I feel like I've got like, I feel like I'm sitting in Walmart for a second. It's like all the stuff is around me. I'm like, let me clear them. Oh, look at that. That feels so much better. It's like, oh, there's so much more space.
He was building a fort.
Right, I really was. Did y'all ever build forts when you were a kid? God, how magical were those moments? God.
Like what we're gonna need here to survive.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, under the table.
Right. I remember when I would go to my dad's house, that's where I would build forts. I didn't do it at my mom's house. But when I was at my dad's house, there were bunk beds because I had two brothers that lived there at the time. And so that was like a 2-story fort.
Oh my God.
You know, because the bunk bed, you know, and we would like take the blankets and put them over like a dresser. And at the time I had a hamster. Her name was Baby. And I would build little Lego houses for this hamster. Oh.
I bet he appreciated it.
I'm sure they love being stuck in a little tiny Lego house without windows and like I can't go anywhere. Put me back in my clear little cage.
Who are you?
Right. So if we can make sure our phones are on the silent position, that would be amazing. Good morning. I like how I'm like, if everybody could turn their phone on, I'm talking to myself with that really, because I'm like, I usually tend to, I forget. I do. So I'm really grateful that I get to be here, holding the fort down for Sharon while she prepares for her surgery and everything. So I'll be here on Monday mornings at this time, and then also on Friday mornings at the 10:15 for the Keep Your Power. So I'll be here for that. So I'm really grateful to have this space. I don't remember the date off the top of my head right now, but very soon. Yeah. So,
This Thursday?
No, I don't know. I don't know the date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll get you chairs.
Let's see.
Cheers.
I haven't used these before. It's very small. Let's see. Can't get it. Okay, so I'll just ding it because I can't get it to go. Good morning.
What's got your anxiety?
I'm probably just trying to all the things I need to do, or not much.
All right. Are y'all ready to begin?
Yes, we are. Oh, yes. Ooh.
All right. Well, it's Monday, right? It's a new week. It's a new day. It's lunes in Espanol, which is also lunar. It's moon day, you know, and so moon is so associated with like emotions in so many ways. So if you're feeling a lot of emotions today, maybe just be like, you know what? I'm going to give myself some grace. If everyone could turn your phone on silent, that would really help me out because I find that super distracting. Thank you. Right. So, you know, give ourselves some grace. You know, we just had this really big eclipse on Saturday and we have another big eclipse in 2 weeks. And so we're in this like portal of energy where it's like, what is aligning? What is not aligning for me? What do I need in my life? And what do I release in my life? And all of that is just a lot on our mental body and our emotional body. Oh yeah. And our physical body. So luckily we're in body, mind, spirit right now. So it's perfect. Right? So what I would like to do is just kind of get us all here on the same page. So my invitation is to just connect with your breath. So I like to take a big breath in and a big breath out. Do that a few times. Big full breath in. Let your body feel oxygenated, nourished, held, and supported. Every breath in is nourishing, and every breath out is a gift, is an offering, welcoming a state of grace, a state of peace, a state of receptivity, a state of magic, miracles, and blessings. Every breath in is a connection with you, your higher self, great spirit, your future self, the divine. Every breath out is a gift of that essence here in the world. Together, we'll take another big breath in. And let it go. I think sometimes we just forget that we get to just breathe and remember that we are connected to spirit, to great spirit, to the divine, to God, goddess, universe, whatever the word is for you or the word less, that we are always connected. We're always held. We're always loved. And whenever I do that, I tend to remember that, okay, you know what? I can wait 10 more minutes to pay that bill. It's okay because I'm loved either way. So if I am loved by the infinite, can I love myself through this stress? Can I love myself through this pain? Can I love myself and accept myself through times of hardship or challenge? Of course I can. If great spirit can love me, why can't I? Because I am a part of that. Well, that's just the choice that I have, I guess, right? Like, am I choosing to love myself right now during confusion, or am I choosing to not love myself in a state of hardship? So that's the choice we always have. And for me, whenever I come back to my breath, that reminds me of it. So I offer that at the beginning of everything and at the end of everything, and usually in the middle of everything if I can. So give yourselves grace. Is anybody else feeling just like so much? Just so much. Is anybody just feeling a lot? Yeah, isn't it great? Look, we're not alone. Hey, it's so good. Like, we're not.
I'm sorry, can I read this?
What is it?
It's about thoughts and action.
Sure.
Okay.
You can come on in. Make yourself comfortable.
Watch your thoughts. They become your words. Watch your words. They become your actions. Watch your actions. They become your habits. Watch your habits. They become your character. Watch your character. They become your. What's that? That's something.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You know, everything, I made a post right before I got here, and it's about our perspective and our perception, and it's how we see things through the world. And that's going to dictate how I act. It's going to dictate my thoughts, my words, how I show up. And then that's going to be how people see me. It's going to be my character. It's going to be my life, you know? And these are the points that we get to touch back to realign ourselves, to really like move through these changing times. You know, we're at a change of season right now. You know, the leaves are starting to do their beautiful, colorful show, and they're also starting to fall. So it's like at the same time of like, wow, it's so pretty. And also like, and it's death. You know, like what an interesting duality that is. Wow, it's so beautiful and it looks so alive and so vibrant, and it's dead. It's not technically dead, but it appears to be so. You know, and so because of that being so much, that leaves us in a place of human where it's like, oh my God, I have so much aliveness. I'm so alive. I have so much potential. I can do anything. I can be anything. I can. And I'm also dying. I don't know what to do. I got to let my own stuff go. I can't rely on anyone else, but yet I'm part of this human team. So I'm always supported. And it's just so much, right? So then I just say again, give yourself some grace, because we're all human doing this. None of us have a manual. None of us have a guidebook to tell us how to get through anything. But what I do know is, for me, because I can get so caught up in my head, in my mind of like, oh God, I got to do this and I got to do that. And if I need, and I glitch out, I actually start to glitch out and I don't feel as good as I want. I don't feel emotionally like, yeah, I feel good. My body, I feel numb or I feel pain. I don't feel like good and light in my body when I get so caught up in my head. So I wanted to share a practice that we can just do together, easy peasy lemon squeezy style, that will get us into just a different emotional state of being. So it's just a little what if. Okay. So take a deep breath and just let it go. And just become really aware of your physical body right here, right now. Feel the weight of your body on the chair. Feel your clothes on your skin. Feel your feet and where they touch the earth and how the earth is holding you. Feel your breath moving in and out with ease. Notice your heart pumping, doing exactly what it needs to you, pumping vital life force energy through this beautiful vessel. Feel the safety of having a roof over your head in this right now moment. Become aware of everyone here in this space, holding this space with each of us, being a reflection of us, a brother and a sister on this earth journey. And now, take another deep breath in and just let it go. Now, last time I was here, we talked about miracles and blessings. And I guided us through, and we all started to affirm and state and declare that I am worthy of miracles and blessings. So those of you that were here, do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was like really like afterward, I was like, I feel good. And we always have miracles and blessings flowing to us and through us in every moment, because we as a life in form, we are a miracle. The fact that we are here right now, our skin is doing what it needs to do. That to me is a miracle, because nobody's calling my skin cells and being like, hey, I need you to keep reproducing at this rate right now. Nobody's calling my lungs to say, I need you to breathe in just like this. Okay, that's enough. Now breathe out. Nobody's calling in any of these orders. We are so miraculous just in our being, right? So what I'd like to do is go around and we can just popcorn this, but I would like to hear what miracles or blessings you have been receiving. What miracle or blessing do you have in your life in this right now? We all have at least one.
I woke up this morning.
You woke up. That is such a miracle and such a blessing.
It is a blessing.
It is such a blessing. Thank you for that, because if you hadn't woken up, you wouldn't be here, and your energy is making a big difference in this space right now. So it's a blessing to us. Yay. What else? What else we got? What miracle or blessing?
Being here is a miracle and a blessing. To be able to be in a space where I can be connected to humans and having these kind of conversations. Not everybody gets to do this, and I understand that. And I know how grateful that I am to be able to have this. People work their 9 to 5, so they can't come and have these kind of moments. And I appreciate it, and I very much value it. I want to be present.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. The fact that we get to be here now. None of us had to pay, a $30 to $50 entrance fee to come in here to have this.
We didn't.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of places you have to pay to enter, and you have to pay a hefty fee. You have to tithe so much to have this. We get to have this. Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
Health and sanity.
Health and
Health and sanity.
yes.
My right mind.
Yes.
Mhm.
Physical health and mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
30 years I've recovered from Harlow.
How many years?
30.
30. Happy anniversary. Yay. I celebrate that.
Miracle and a blessing.
That is awesome. I honor and I applaud that. I love that. What other miracles and blessings do we have? If you're joining us online, please respond. Yes.
Well, I have the miracle of waking up sober, but also I have the miracle that when I walk, I find things. And the other day, same day, I found 2 pennies face up, and I found a dime to kick me in the ass, because the pennies mean to me that my higher power is watching over me and keep going. I'm doing the right thing. And then the dime was just extra.
So your miracle and blessing is that you get to have just money literally laid on your path.
Yep.
Wow. That's cool.
Mhm.
Like really,
Mhm.
like just having money. Just oh look, money's just appearing on my path. I just gotta pick it up.
Mhm.
I love that. And like little source high fives.
Now, if I can penny face down, Sharon told me to just throw it somewhere so that someone else has the opportunity to get it.
Interesting.
Ah.
It's so funny because if I find money, I just say thank you.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Because it's like if you two are both going to give me money right now, I'm not going to be like sorry, but one of you your money is not good enough. To me, it's a blessing either way. So I'm like
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, thank
Love
you.
that.
Receive it.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I thank God to give me a second chance to breathe. You know,
Amen.
and see.
Yes,
Around.
I love that because this breath is pretty miraculous.
Yes.
Because we're not guaranteed the next one
Amen.
at all. So this one's like I did it. I got this breath. I got this other breath. Like we could literally live our life celebrating the miraculous blessing of our breath in every now moment. How cool is that? Yeah.
I enjoy when I'm on the way here and on the way home, being able to see and experience, feel the wind, the coolness of the wind, and get to see the leaves changing, and I see Romans 1:20 all over.
What is that?
For since the it says in the scripture, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible attributes, eternal power, and God and divine nature and Godhead have been clearly seen, being understood so that all mankind was without excuse.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And also for speaking to the miraculous nature to be able to witness. I'll use the word God. If God doesn't resonate for you, just replace it with whatever does. How miraculous it is to be able to see God in nature,
Yes, ma'am.
to see God in the leaves or the leaves that are on the ground or on the trees.
How can you
Like,
not?
right? Well, some people choose to not.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and that's totally fine too. No judgment, right?
Right.
It's all a choice on what we see as a miracle and a blessing, or just another day. It means nothing, right? That's all. And how much of a blessing it is because it feels good. It's like I can witness the miraculousness of this. Whoa! And it's just for me because no one else will see it the exact way that I am seeing it in that moment, right? Because when I look out my window, I see the trees back there. No one's going to see that perspective. You know, other people have their own trees to look at. Cool, but they'll never see it the way I see it. And to have that, like in this room right now, we're all in it, obviously. But we all are seeing something different because we all have had, first of all, a whole different lived experience. But we're all literally just sitting in a different position. But we're all in the room. So how much of just a miracle is it that we can all agree that we're all having this similar experience and also enjoy the blessing that everyone is having their own unique experience?
And don't all of us boil down to energy and light and it's all identical? Is that the deal?
Totally. It really is. And that's the internal light. It's that God source or goddess creator, whatever the word is. It's that God energy that we all are. So we're all that in the baseline.
Right.
You know, it's like the radio is the radio, but what channel are you playing? What station are you listening to? What music are you dancing to?
But that's really why all mankind should get along.
Yeah. But if I'm tuned into, you know, the station where it's like, we're only going to talk about war and everybody's evil. Well, then that's what I will be in the world. I will be the person that's like, I'm going to be the war and I'm going to be the evil and I'm going to hate everything. Cool. But I'm still God on the inside,
Right.
you know?
So hard.
So it's like, so even assholes are still love.
Yes.
They're just not tuned into that channel, right? They're just not tuned into that frequency.
Can I say something real quick? Okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge, online, my mother's joining us from Indiana. And so one of her blessings is that she's blessed to be able to see and hear us. So
Yeah.
what were you
I
going
was
to
gonna
share?
say, I see it every inhale is a miracle and every exhale is a blessing. Because not everyone's guaranteed that next inhale and that next breath is not guaranteed. Not everyone gets that. Inhale and you must be without mask now. I'm grateful I can see your face, see your smile. A year or so ago, we couldn't do that. The coronavirus took a lot of us out. So it's a blessing and miracle that we're all even just here alive.
Yeah.
We don't see it every day.
No.
We don't realize that God,
Right.
there's a reason for us being here.
Totally. And the reason is just to be here.
Just to be
And that's the funny thing. You know, like to me, it's like, you know, how many times in my life when I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Hey, Darlene. Darlene says hell. I'm guessing I'm guessing the O wasn't on there. So I look over and it says hell. I know you meant hello. Hell. But I don't even remember what I was saying. What were you gonna say?
I know a lot of my friends are dead, gone. And I look at it every day. I mean, some of them older than me, some of them younger than me, but they dead and gone. And we did the same thing. And I'm still here.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. Because, you know, I think that there's this blessing that we get to be alive today. And it's also a blessing that not everyone is alive today. And I mean that because for me, everyone who's transitioned and they're no longer here on the earth plane, you know, yeah, it sucks that they're not here for me. But I'm also like, what a blessing, because then they're like in spirit world and they can help me and like cheer me on here. So I'm like, oh, thank you for taking one for the team and peacing out early, you know, and like keeping an eye on me in another realm, you know. Because, like, I had a grandmother that just not close with her. She didn't really like me as a human. Fine. But, you know, so she's dead now. But I feel like she loves me more where she is now. Because she can. Because she doesn't have the human to, like, prevent that. Yeah, to judge. Exactly. Yeah. Good morning. It's okay. Welcome.
Like how you put that.
Yeah. So I would like to hear from some other people that haven't shared yet. What other miracle and or blessing are you experiencing or have you experienced that you're just like, yes? Anyone?
For me, the miracle of sobriety and for opportunities, the blessings of just having opportunity.
Thank you for speaking to that. Think about this. I love that you said that. We cannot see opportunities, but we can. Meaning, if my jar were empty, I could either be like, damn it, it's empty and I'm thirsty. Or I could look at it as an opportunity to fill up
Right.
and have something to nourish me. Right. So for us to be able to see the potential of opportunity in any now moment, in any future, that right there is such a blessing. And it literally like holds the space for miracles to occur. Because if I'm just complaining about in my head or whatever, like, oh, my jar is empty. Fuck it, I'm thirsty. I hate the world. No one is going to be inspired to be like, hey, I noticed your cup is empty. Let me fill it. They're just going to be like, ugh, she's anger. She's so angry. I don't want to mess with that. But if I'm just like, ooh, I'm so curious about the opportunity of how it's going to get full. How's my cup going to get full? Who's going to fill it? Do I get to have the water? Like, how's it even going to be? I don't even know. Then either, you know, then somehow, some way, then like some miracle might happen when I come in and it's full. Or I get to have a blessing of a phone call that says, hey, I'm going to the mountains. Want to go? Yes. And then I get to go get some mountain spring water. Like, who knows? But opportunity is like infinite potential. So thank you for mentioning the blessing that we all have opportunities ahead of us that we don't even have a clue about. But just to open up to the idea, opening up the mind to say, anything is possible. I have an opportunity to live my life. How do I want to live it? I don't know. I want to live it miraculously. Y'all want to hear a miracle? Go ahead.
To become better versions of ourselves. The
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
To do that.
And what is a better version of ourselves? What is a better version of ourselves? So to me, that's a better version of me is exactly who I am right now. I just feel better. I feel lighter. I feel more connected. So there's no judgment in the I want to be better and feel better, right? It's like, yes, I am so yes right now, and I can be yeser.
Oh, yes.
You know, I'm not a no so that I can be an okay. I'm a hell yes now, and I want to be a hell yeser.
Mhm.
Later.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
know?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, I feel better now because I'm not judging who I am now. Because if I'm judging who I am now, or in a lot of like, Will, you know that feeling, Jalal. If I'm in that space, then I got to dig my way up and crawl my way out of this hole just to get on this level playing field to see, are there any miracles out here? Are there any blessings? But if I'm already out here like, no, I am the miracle, I am the blessing because I'm here right now. Hey,
So you're
then what
already
happens is
the
I can
better
get
version
more.
of you.
Exactly. Because
You
we are
just want to be the better earth.
exactly.
Better earth.
Yes, exactly. Because we are so much better right now in this right now moment than we were an hour ago. Because we've been now sitting in this energy. We've been sitting in this like feeling of like, I'm a miracle. Fuck, I have nothing, but I am a miracle. I am a blessing. My presence is a blessing. That just feels good. And then if I feel good and you feel good and you feel good and we together feel good, we literally go out into the city and we create more love in the world. We create more miracles in the world just with our presence. I don't have to give anyone $1,000. I don't have to show up and be like, here, let me do all these things. No, it's literally just our presence that creates the miracle and the blessing because we're holding the energy of Christ, Christ consciousness, God, goddess, love, whatever the word is for you. And to me, that's aligning the body, the mind, and the spirit in such a way that we be the betterest ever, and we become right, and we become the living testament to the miraculous nature of life. I think that's pretty exciting. Yeah.
I always have room for growth and improvement. And I always make when you got that.
Yes.
If they don't grow with that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, when I think about life itself, life does not stagnate. It doesn't. Life is always moving. It's always pulsing. It goes through an expansion and a contraction. Look at the ocean. It ebbs and it flows. There's always movement. So we always want to be able to expand, but also, can I go in enough? Can I contract and be like, can I hold myself or be held and be like, wow, this is uncomfortable. This sucks. I'm stressed. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen. That's the contraction. And can I love myself through it? And then when I love myself through it, then the space of expansion is even bigger. So to me, that's just the dance. Y'all want to hear a miracle that I experienced? Y'all cannot make this up. This is nuts. Okay, so on 10/10, can I share it as a story?
Please do.
Okay, so I decided to put my house up for sale. And so you have the one sign, and then you change the little doodly-hoo from coming soon to for sale to oops, too late. Okay. like that's the pattern. You take the little sign and you put it on the big sign. Who knew? So the big sign's out and it says coming soon. And it was on 10/10, and that was the day that it was going to go live on the market. And so I have the little for sale that I'm going to put out there, and I'm standing on my front porch, and I'm like, okay, this is a move. Like, this next step, like that's me telling the universe I'm serious, right? I'm telling source, like, okay, I'm willing to release and I'm willing to receive all at once. And I noticed if anything is like out of place, it's one of my gifts or OCD, whatever. And so I'm standing on my front porch and I'm having my moment with my for sale baby in my hand. And I look over and I'm like, what is that on my front porch, which I had just spent the weekend pressure washing this shit. I look over and there's like this spot of what I thought was like berry bird poop. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. And I was like, well, oh man, whatever. And then I was like, and I noticed more over here. And I was like, okay, now that's really. And then I have these two like little pillars on my front porch, and it's all stone. And so it's like pillar and then stone around it. And I looked at the stone around it and I was like, it's all over the stone. And I'm like, what is that? And I looked and I was like, it's blood. Right? Totally. And I was like, what? And I was like, I don't have time to go. I don't have time to tend to this because I got all these other things that I got to do. But I'm like, there's blood on my front porch. And then I was like, that's what I thought. How did this happen?
Inspector Gadget.
And so I was like going through my memory bank, like as fast as like a little Rolodex, like, grrr, you know. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, wait a minute. There's been this like really like goofy looking black cat. Like its eyes are like, "Arr." And it will sit on my porch. And I think it was in heat. And I was like, oh, that's my story, right? Who knows? But I was like, okay, it was the cat. And then I was like, of all the days to ever in my life have blood on my front porch, the day that I have the for sale sign going up where there are showings already booked all day.
Come in the house.
That's good.
Right?
luck.
Look at
That's what I was telling myself. I'm like, okay, it's good luck, right? Like only the right person will be able to cross this sacred threshold of life force blood. Right? You know, and I'm like, okay, right. So I go and I'm like, thanks, cat. I don't know. Of course, that's what it was. That's my story, right? So I go out there and I take the coming soon and I put the for sale and I go in and then I got to leave because there are showings. And, you know, and I'm moving through so many emotions of just like excitement and so much grief. And I love my home. Literally, it's been a holding container for so much of my healing and people in the community that needed a home and just, So I ended my day at the park because I was like, I can't be at home. So I went to Freedom Park and I'm just like watching the sunset, you know, and being in prayer. I've been in a lot of prayer and I've been asking Source, like, what I really want is I want someone to be attracted to the love and the joy in this house. That's what I want. Because I know a developer could buy it because I live in Plaza Midwood and literally annihilate it and build a mansion because I live in a very small 1947 house. And I was like, just let them be magnetized like to the love and the joy in this house. And then also like no attachment. Like if it is a developer, it is. So I get home that night and there's a note in my mailbox from a gentleman that says, my wife and I saw your house. Like we've been looking for a house for several months now. We're getting married on January 13th. And there was something about this house when it popped up that we were very interested in. And like we saw it, we felt the love and the joy here. And I was like, you know, like prayers being answered. And then he was telling me like that the numbers like 3s and 1s mean a lot to him, and those are the numbers in my house address and all this other stuff. And he was just like, please consider, you know, I know that selling a home isn't easy. And I was like, it was like I was crying these tears of joy for them. I'm like, oh my God, this couple found my house like to live in, not to demolish. And so again, I let it go. And I had this moment that night. This is when I started to question the blessing and the miracle. And I want to share this because I think it's important. Because we'll start to receive a blessing or miracle, and then we start to question it, doubt it, or feel like it's going to be a burden for someone else. Because I thought, oh my God, well, what if the price tag? What if this is hard for them to pay it? What if they lowball me? What if this is a cruel joke from someone in the neighborhood to get my hopes up? I mean, like I had all these thoughts coming in. What if I'm not worthy of the price tag that I put on it? What if they suffer because they have to go in debt now? I mean, I had all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm walking in a higher timeline. I'm walking in my divine purpose. So I'm going to trust that they can afford more than the asking price. They can afford it, and it's going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And they're going to help me out because for them, I'm giving them a deal. This is a deal for them, and it's a lottery ticket for me. You know? Yes. Yes. And I was like, so I changed that. You know, because I didn't want to stop the flow of the blessings. And so I was like, okay, you know, and then I let it go and I went to bed. The next morning I get a phone call from my friend who happens to be my realtor. And she was like, so they put an offer in. And I was like, okay, mind you, this was right after my ex-husband left my house because he came over to help me get all the shit out of my attic, which isn't much, but still it's an attic. So anyway, so he's there and I'm like, bye, thank you, you know, and then I get the phone call And she was like, they put an offer in.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, open, right? Like, I'm like, it could be anything. It could be higher. It could be what I asked for. It could be a total low ball. I don't even, whatever. Y'all, they offered not a lot, but a little bit over asking. And they gave a due diligence check to like hold their spot.
Uh-oh.
So you couldn't
Yes.
show it.
So I can't show it. And they're like committed and they're in it. And I was like, okay. So the miracle of all of this, because the last thing I wanted to do was have to like leave my house to go like let people in and showings and make it look like nobody lives there while I'm living there. You know, like God forbid it's right before showing and I took a big deuce in the bathroom. Now the house smells like a turd. Like, oh God, you know? So I was like, dear God, like I don't want to do this. So I got all my prayers answered. I got the house under contract in 25 hours
Wow.
of putting that sign up.
I was gonna say that is.
It's a miracle. It's a blessing.
It is.
And these people are like, cool. And it's like, I'm like, I got everything I asked for. So I share that because blessings, not only are they happening all the time and miracles are happening all the time, but to notice when we stop it.
Yes.
You know, if we stop a blessing by starting to doubt our worthiness of receiving it. Well, what if I receive it? Then what am I going to do? Am I going to blow all the money?
Yeah.
You know, what if someone gives me food, but I don't have anywhere to store it, so don't give me anything? You know what I mean? Like, oh, someone has a really dope place for me to stay. Well, what if they want me to pay for something and I can't? What if they just want to let me stay there? You know, what if someone just wants to give me something because they have more than enough? Because, oh yeah, that's right. We have more than enough. We all have enough to give something more.
Janine, where are you gonna live?
That's a great question.
Haven't got
Yeah,
the answer to
yeah.
it yet, but hey.
Yeah. I literally,
It's none of my business.
no, I am, every time I sit in prayer and I'm like, will you show me what I'm supposed to do right now? Like, let me know, like, do I need to buy a plane ticket? Like now, you know, like, what am I doing? Where do I go? And I swear I hear, you got to pack up your house first, sis. You got to go through your shit and pack up. That's your first step. Focus on that. And I'm like, okay, but like, can I get a plan? No. I'm like, damn it. What are you going to say? No, please do not apologize.
Oh, well, I'm interrupting you. But,
No, you're not.
There's this thing that I saw online, and it says, "What's our biggest fear as people?" And it's what is it called? It's joy, because you never say like everything's going right, like my job's going good, my family, and everything's going right, and then it's like, well, then you start doubting yourself. What's going to go on? What's going to go wrong? Like something has to go wrong. It can't just be all good. You know? Because I never sit in the moment. Like I have a really bad time with that.
Yes.
So it's so true though, you know?
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's
I mean,
doubting.
it's doubting, and it's also then cutting off the flow. Like, could you imagine like you're hanging out with your new bestie or your new partner and you're like, oh my God, this is so fun. And you're just like, oh my God, it's so fun. And then all of a sudden they're like, gotta go bye. And you're like, wait, what?
Wait a minute. How dare
Like,
you?
can we you know, there was no like wrapping up to that. It was a little bit harsh. It was like this big stop. It's almost like a smack in the face. So what if every time we get that feeling of like, oh my God, I just received something? Wow, this is amazing. And then slam the door. Like, could you imagine if your Goddess, Great Spirit, and you're like, yes, I'm giving them all this stuff and they're loving it. And when they love it, I love it, and I love it, and they love it. And yeah, and they're just giving. Universe is just gifting, blessings. And you slam that door because you're like, I don't deserve it. You know, or what if I have to pay for this later and I can't? What if I'm not good enough? What if I get punished for having this, right? All these thoughts that happen. Then if I'm the one giving all that, if I'm Goddess giving the gifts, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, I'm not going to give them anymore. They literally just slammed the door on my face. The relationship's going to break up, right?
So you're saying to be open.
Yeah. Be open to receive miracles and blessings all the time. Be open to receive miracles and blessings all the time. The all the time is key. Because if I'm open to receive miracles and blessings and I get it, I'm like, good, I got it, I'm done. Then the universe is going to be like, well, I guess they're done. I guess they don't
Yeah,
want any more. But we are supposed to receive miracles and blessings all the time because we're also made to be the giver of them. You know, if someone says that they're going to mow my yard for me, not only is that a gift and a blessing, but then that just literally freed up time for me. Well, then I can gift my time to what? To myself, to my devotion, to the land, to a friend, to someone in need. Like we gift whatever we have extra of. Yeah, totally paying it forward. We don't want to stop the flow of a miracle and blessing because we received once. We can always so I share this because it's a mental game to tell ourselves all the time, no, I deserve and I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time, all the time, all the time. Then our body is going to start to open up and relax. Our nervous system starts to chill the fuck out. Do you notice that even thinking about it, you're a little bit more calm and your body's more relaxed? Like scan your body, take a deep breath, let it go. And just feel your body. Just become aware of it. Is it feeling more easy, more calm? Maybe a little bit more light and grounded at the same time. Maybe just a little bit more open, a little bit more receptive. When our body does that, then our energy, our spirit opens up, and the magnetic capacity of us to literally draw in miracles activates. We work with our biofield then. Because we're energetic beings, like Robin mentioned. What were you going to share, Porter?
I think that for me, it's just feeling worthy of some of these blessings that I'll get. I'm not worthy of them. 'Cause I feel like sometimes it makes me force me like, how could I feel like somebody else should have gotten this, or I'm not ready for this. No, I know my higher power wouldn't have given it to me if I wasn't ready. And if I'm not ready, it forces me to rise to the occasion. Like, no, I am worthy, and I am worthy of good things happening to me. If you expect things to happen, things happen to you just like they were. But if I think negatively, oh God, nothing never happens to me, chances are you're going to see every negativity, everything that happens. I don't choose to do that. It's a choice. I think even when I have times where I feel like I've made a mistake, I don't see it as a mistake. I see it as an opportunity to make a choice, to do something different. Now I learn the lesson. Now I can take that knowledge. I won't do that again. Now, I won't stay in the mistake. It gives me an opportunity to choose something different.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, Robin.
Where I'm sitting here thinking that the hard part for me is that I feel like I've been given so many miracles and so many blessings that I lived and and the hell I went through and so forth. And even though I have very little, a very simple life, I'm grateful for what I have. And then if I open myself up to that I'm worthy for blessings and miracles, I feel like I'm asking for too much,
Yeah, that thank you for sharing that, because that kind of piggybacks on what Porter said. If I'm asking for too much, that means that I'm not worthy of it, right? I'm not worthy of it because I have enough.
Right.
Now, and it kind of piggybacks on what you said. It's like, I've already received so much, and now I'm good. Now I'm healthy. So but in contrast to maybe where many of us have been. Like, oh, I'm way better off because I'm not all fucked up right now.
Right.
So hey, Winnie. So it's kind of like, okay, well then I'm good. I don't need anything because you literally help me live through all that. So I'm good. So imagine if you're in a relationship with your beloved, okay, and you've been with them now for 10 years, and they love you tremendously. And they've seen you through your sickness and your darkness and your hardships. They've seen you in your best, most vibrant moments. And then your beloved wants to give you a hug. And you say, no, you gave me one 5 years ago when I needed it. Your beloved is going to be like, but I want to love you like that. So the universe wants to love on us like that. So it's like, if I have something to give, it feels good when someone receives it. It sucks if I'm like, I baked you a cake and you're like, I hate you and I hate cakes and I ate a cake last year. It's like, but I put my love into this. Like, someone recently gave me something to eat. They asked me if I wanted it. I said, no, thank you. I didn't want it. And they packed me a to-go thing. And I was like, thank you so much. And I took it home and I ended up tossing it. It wasn't in alignment. It wasn't a yes from my body. But I wasn't like, oh, how dare they? Now I got to rinse out the bowl and blah, blah, blah. I was just like, how kind was this that they shared this with me? And so I felt still all the love, all the gratitude, the miracle of the blessing. And what I do with it, that was my choice. You know? So all that to say is remembering that we are always worthy of receiving. That's like me saying that your next inhale, you're not worthy of receiving your next inhale. So don't. You'd be like, no, like life in me is going to breathe in because life wants to live and receive the next experience of the now. Breath is inspiration. It's spirit. It's all the same word derived from spirit. So to say no to spirit is to say no to the next breath. Why would we do that? Why would we deny ourselves that? Why would we deny each other that? So if you say these things, so has anyone ever experienced or currently experiences the, I'm not quite worthy of receiving all the things? Yeah, look around. No, like, yeah, look around, like not alone. So here's the thing, because our reality is based on our thoughts. It just is. It just is. Thought precedes matter, whatevs. So what if we committed to the next 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of every day, just reminding ourselves in every now moment that we remember that I am worthy of miracles and blessings all the time. It's the adding the all the time bit. Because here's the thing, none of us in here are greedy. None of us in here are going to receive so much and just be like, stop piling it away and not using it. You would use it. You would share it. So don't stop your gift of giving. And that gift could be giving to the power company. That supports power for the whole grid.
So we say, I just have to refresh.
Yes.
I'm going to say, I'm worthy of blessings and miracles. That's what I say.
All the time. Add the words all the time.
All the time. Okay.
Yeah. Let's try it. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, it's like I found laws of attraction and it's manifestation. If you like say that you something every single day, it's like your brain can only go to that point. You know, it can only be positive.
Yeah. It's like if every day I tell myself that I'm ugly and stupid, every day I look in the mirror, I'm going to get uglier and dumber.
Yeah.
But if every day I tell myself that I'm beautiful and brilliant, then every day I look in the mirror, I'm going to become more beautiful and brilliant. It's just the story that we feed ourselves. So why would we not feed ourselves a divine truth that I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time? All the time. All the time. So many words written. I was going to write, but I'm like, I don't want to, you know, when something's already written and you don't want to erase it because you're like, that's probably not a good. I don't even
Let's
know.
say it all together.
Yeah.
Okay?
Can we do that? Because here's the thing, when we use the power of our voice, it literally changes the vibration. And you'll notice, you may notice that if you have a resistance to saying this out loud, that resistance will prevent receiving. Does that make sense? It's like if I am like, I know I'm worthy of receiving, but I'm not, I'm too afraid. What if I'm judged? What if people hear me asking? Well, then how could Source hear you if you don't feel worthy enough to even speak it out loud? Right? That's why in churches they sing and they chant. Like it's a part of the prayer. So this is speaking our prayer as an affirmation and as a declaration. So it's not like a one day I am worthy, one day I will be worthy. It's like, no, I'm worthy now. Right? So we'll just start saying it together. I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time. I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time. I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time. I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time. I am worthy of receiving miracles and blessings all the time. Take a big breath in and just let it go. And imagine that which you call your source, your God. Hearing that, smiling, and saying, yes, child, I want to give to you. Thank you for receiving. I love you. Thank you for understanding your worth and your deservedness. And just allow yourself to be open to receiving a miracle and a blessing all the time.
Hey, sometimes you gotta mix good with bad for a reason. You know, if nothing didn't come, not worthy for you sometimes, when you do get something good, you really appreciate it, you'll keep it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And sometimes we get to remember that when we have something happen that we would call a bad experience,
Right.
what if that bad experience is a key and is a miracle?
Yes.
We learn from it. It becomes our testimony, becomes our space for inspiration for ourselves or others. You know, when all the times that I've had where it's been like, yo, that was really hard. Now I look back and I'm like, I wouldn't change it because that created a deeper, like, oh God, it is a miracle that I'm here. Whoa. You know, it's a miracle that I've been able to have a roof over my head. It's a miracle that I got legs that actually still work right now. We grow. So understanding that even the things that we don't necessarily ask for, if I can reframe my perspective and say, thank you for this blessing. I'm curious to see how this plays out. You know, how I'm curious how this blessing is actually a blessing, because it doesn't feel like a blessing, but I do trust that it is. I do trust. I had an experience. I'll share this and then we'll close. I had an experience recently. I came home and there was a gentleman in my driveway and he was taking photos of the house. And I was like, what's going on? And he was deaf. And so he communicated that he was deaf. And he was like, does Hannah live here? I was like, nope, Hannah does not live here. Well, apparently, he was being scammed by someone that was saying that they lived at my address, and he drove all the way from from Fayetteville to Charlotte to meet this woman that was sending him photos of this beautiful woman. And I'm like, it's not like, she ain't real. And, you know, he was this like super Southern man. He looked like he had lived a very weathered life. And so he was like, wait, what? She's not here? And I'm like, no, like, and yeah, no. And so I could see this space of like complete disappointment, sadness, the feeling of being duped, the feeling of having a cruel joke played on you, and all this stuff. And so my heart just went to this man. And after he left, I was sitting with this and I'm like, what was the blessing in that? Because that hurt my heart, you know? And I felt into it and I was like, it was a blessing that he was in my driveway and not anyone else's, because I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to get on his phone. I'm going to look at, I'm texting her like, hey, leave my house and me out of your lies and back off, you know, like I'm like, oh, that was the blessing. This really weird experience of having this stranger in my driveway and blah, blah, blah. Instead of it being this tragic, like this creep was in my driveway and blah, blah, blah. It turned into like, oh, this was the gift. It was for whatever service I was for him, and for him to also give my heart space to have a deeper sense of compassion that I hadn't felt before, just deeper for him. And so I share that because no matter what we're experiencing, it's a blessing on some level. And we also can receive like dope ass miracles and blessings all the time.
All the time.
So I just want to end with that. So enjoy receiving miracles and blessings. Like just enjoy the ride all the time. And I'll be here Friday, 10:15. And so Mondays at 10, Fridays at 10:15. Oh, hey.
I just wanted to announce that today is where's Gina?
Oh, where's she?
Oh, hey girl, Gina.
Sleep.
Gina.
Hey girl. We're celebrating Gina's 30-year sobriety.
Yeah.
We celebrated that all day. Let's
We've
continue.
got cake.
What?
Actually,
So we got a little bitty cake. They're gonna be little bitty pieces because I got a little bitty cake.
That's all we need.
I
The miracle. Who just
The
asked for
miracle
cake?
and the blessing.
I mentioned cake.
Yes.
yeah, actually too.
Are you trying to tell us?
no.
Thank you all for being here. I love y'all. I will see you on Friday.